Right then, this is a quick walk-in video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 SE. These are four-wheel drive cars. This car's covered, it's just coming up to 63,000 miles now. Worth pointing out, the following road test video was done a few weeks ago, before I went on holiday, and I took this very car. So it is a few hundred miles more than it says on the road test video, so please bear that in mind. Coming around the car, car's in really nice condition. Black looks good in these cars. Front of the car there, lights and lenses are clear, there's no cracks or condensation in them. Front bumper's very clean. Same with the bonnet, extremely clean given the age of the car. Coming down the near side first, passenger side, there's no indentations in the panel work at all. Near side front alloy, very good indeed. All panels on this side are very nice. It'll always be very light brush marks, but I'm talking very, very light indeed, but nothing of any consequence at all. Rear alloy really good. Worth pointing out, I had two new rear tyres fitted to the car before I went away because we tow a caravan, and it was just for safety really. The tyres on there were good, but obviously slightly older, so next owner will benefit from those. Around the back again, all very clean. Offside, driver's side, lovely and clean in the panel work. No obvious indentations that I can see there anywhere. Offside rear alloy, generally good, just an odd tiny little mark. And the remaining panel work is very, very nice indeed. Offside rear alloy, again, offside front rather, very, very good. So externally the car is actually in very good condition with the age and mileage. Coming to the boot area, you get enormous boots on the cars, and it's those easy fold rear seats, it's absolutely cavernous. Coming to the back of the car now, you get enormous amounts of leg room. Those front seats are set for me, and I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm not cheating. The video, by the way, has a habit of making the centre of the seats look slightly sort of pinky or purpley. It's not, they are black. I have no idea why the video makes it look like this, so I do apologise. Coming to the front, on the passenger side, all nice and clean and tidy. And again, the same with the seats, they are black. We'll work it out one of these days how to change that. Coming to the front now, driver's side. Front there is all very nice and clean. Driver's seat again in very good condition. Inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dashboard looks pretty much as new, just there's no marks or wear showing on there at all. Just come up to the top here, pop the car into reverse. Got that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as it should. And finally coming up to the dash pentacle there, you can see we are very close to 63,000 at 62,999 miles. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and locking wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for Honda CR-V 2.2 SE diesel. This car is registered, if I can read it, sorry, I should have that the right way around, SK64WRL, and mileage on the car is 62,443. The reason we do all of our videos, and actually especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the advertised car in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because, like so many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs, only to get them find out there's a fundamental issue that shows up as soon as you drive the car. We also do the road test on these very quiet country roads in this lovely part of Gloucestershire. This forms actually the part of the road test route we take our customers on. So hopefully then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, sorry, just turn my phone down a second, make sure it's not going loud. Coming to the car, very well looked after vehicle. It's not been cleaned yet, it's literally just arrived with us. And I apologise, there is no mark on the windscreen. Unfortunately, a very large bird has deposited something on the windscreen. It's baked itself on there in the last few seconds because it's a blisteringly hot day, even though it might not look like it. car starts instantly, engine settles to a smooth, even idle without any warning lights on the dashboard, aside that is from a low fuel light currently, which is literally just popped on. The engines are simply brilliant diesel engines. They're very smooth and quiet in operation, but unlike a lot of their competitors, when you get in the cars, they can all feel quite punchy and quick, but they tend to die away as soon as the turbo gives up. It just falls off a cliff in terms of performance. This has got a really broad spread of power from very low revs all the way through to its red line, but it revs so smoothly and quietly. It's a beautiful, beautiful engine to use. It really, really is. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch of the car, spot on, bike points, exactly where it's meant to be. It's nice and smooth in operation. And then you come to the gear change, which is always with these CRVs is second to none. It's positioning the gear lever, perfect. Feel, engagement, weighting, accuracy, precision. It's just beautifully done. And as I always say, it would happily sit in a much more sporty car. It's because it's just the actuation is said. It's just very, very satisfying to use, and that feels pretty much exactly as it would have done when it was new. There is just no wear in it at all. But again, that is par for the course for these things. They take their miles incredibly well. Steering of the car, Honda know this market incredibly well. The CR-V is currently the best-selling SUV in the world, and it's easy to see why, because they've pretty much mastered it. The whole feel of it is very, very car-like in operation. And that starts kind of with the steering and the chassis of the car. Steering is nicely weighted, it doesn't feel over light. It makes the car feel very secure and solid on the road, but it is surprisingly accurate and reasonably quick as well. But it works beautifully with the chassis. It also feels incredibly tight on the road. The whole car does. It's got very kind of nice. It doesn't feel loose in any way. The steering track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Suspension, what I'm listening for on road test is when you go over a bump, and there's a particularly nasty one which I'm going to go over any second. Now, that is a horrible bump, but it's a good way to test a car. But there's no rattles, no clonks, nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on. The chassis also, going through corners like that, which in some of its competitors they kind of lean over and loll up with a few extra motions, which can be quite nauseating. These sit flat in the corners really well. It's got very, very good body control for this type of vehicle, but still manages to give a very, very comfortable ride indeed. It really is. So that ping is one of these 50 mile an hour speed warning chimes someone set on the car, which I will get off because they make me jump every time I hear one. But yeah, no, really nicely done. Brakes on the car, make sure no one's directly behind me. Nice solid brake pedal on the vehicle, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the brake pedals, all in fine order indeed. I'm just going to swing around at this point. Coming to the interior of the car, which as I said, it hasn't been cleaned yet, but obviously it will be. It's clean, but it's just it needs a proper clean. They're just lovely places to sit and drive a car. They really are. I mean, the first thing you notice straight away is just how well made they are, because it might be relatively low mileage, but there are no squeaks or rattles at all from the interior of the car. It's just bolted together beautifully. But it's a really easy car to just jump in, drive. It's not over fussy. It's got plenty of equipment, but it's it's not one of these cars that intimidate when you get into them with sort of silly controls. I mean, it's just got a big simple radio, all working perfectly, as is the dual zone climate control system, which gives you different temperatures side to side if you so wish. It's 27 degrees today, and one of those really muggy days, and it's blowing out absolutely ice cold air, so clearly that's working exactly as it should. Dash binnacle in front, simple, easy, very legible dials, nicely presented and laid out. It does exactly what you want without being over fussy, but as Honda, they label them really nicely. Nice small diameter leather bound steering wheel, feels absolutely fantastic in hand as well. I mean, it really is, you can see why these are so sought after, and because this is a four-wheel drive one, which is of its era, that, you know, the smaller 1.6s would be generally two-wheel drive. You've got the oddity that weren't. By the way, the four-wheel drive, there's no buttons, you don't do anything at all, it does it all for you, because again, Honda worked out very quickly that most people, you know, be driving in perfectly good conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive on. And by not running permanently, you're going to save on fuel, tyre wear, and also it puts far less mechanical stress through the car. Should it need to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it itself. Sorry, I'm looking, because there's a little Honda CRZ, I'm a bit of a fan of those. Don't see too many of those about. Oh, lovely. Poor chap probably thinks, what on earth is he staring at me for? But there we are. But yeah, no, so basically, as soon as you put your foot down, if it loses grip in slippery conditions, it immediately brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's seamless in operation. I've towed many a caravan over some pretty horrible muddy pitches and never come close to getting stuck with one. And because it's simple, it's rugged. You know, we've been selling these things for nearly 30 years. We've never had an issue with one, so they are very robust indeed. So that's not the video, it's only brief to show you the car in operation. I can find nothing wrong with it at all. It drives absolutely beautifully.